just had to get that out because supposedly Sweetie no longer works for Kim, so we have to um, keep the spirit of Sweetie's employment alive. But yeah, Kim, her storyline is pretty much non-existent at this point. She's supposed to be getting her own show. I want them to just go on with that because her own Real Housewives of Atlanta is kind of like a moot. Um, Sweetie and lipstick or lip gloss. What I think she's been clearly, she's been told or read, people talking about how she was looking last season. So she has, start piling on the makeup, but it's just too much in my opinion. Especially the lip wear. It's just like real bright. Us dark girls, we have to be careful. Yes, we can wear some bright colors, but it has to be done very carefully. Okay, so then we have the Africa trip and the blowout. Okay, somebody had me cracking up on a blog talking about when Sheree and Marlo started doing all that at the end. Like they said, closed captioning was probably all kinds of jacked up on that. I mean, because that was just straight gibberish and just unnecessary, and it was like no one wanted to be the bigger person and just walk away. It had to turn into that complete mess. And I don't know like why Marlo was so upset, because Sheree's not her friend. Like, why would someone who's not your friend invite you to their friend's party? I mean, if Nene and Cynthia were making a big deal out of it, then Marlo definitely should not have, because I mean, she's new on the scene. So like on the Real Housewives scene, and she doesn't really have a relationship with Sheree like Nene and Cynthia do, so if she didn't invite them, she sure ain't gonna invite her. And there are people on blogs and stuff saying that Marlo shouldn't have come, that she wasn't invited, so she shouldn't even come. And okay, sorry y'all, my granddad has received all this technology and can't use it. So I've set a lot of the stuff up when I went to visit him over the holidays, and he has called me repeatedly since, asking me questions to stuff that I gave him directions to, wrote it down and everything. I tell you, gotta love our elderly family members. But anywho, so like I was saying, I did not feel that it was wrong for Marlo to come on the trip because Nene invited her. To me, it's the same thing as many of us have done with a friend invites us somewhere and they're going with another friend. I'm sure probably most of you have been invited somewhere by a friend and they're going with another friend. Like, I mean, that's just, we do that. Like, your friend may call and be like, hey, we're going to Vegas, me and my girl such and such, would you like to come? The room's gonna be such and such, so split 3 ways, it's gonna be this, would you like to come? Whatever. And if you are interested in the trip, you go. You don't have to get a direct invitation from the other person. So I didn't feel that she was wrong to come on the trip. Now, what I felt was her reaction to Sheree not inviting her to the party. I felt that was, beyond what should have been, because, and I, they, said whatever they had to say to each other, and, Marlo, told Sheree, about basically all the things that have been portrayed on the show with, her, the air mattress thing, and which she said on Watch What Happens Live that was not an air mattress, that was a doggy bed. And about the Aston Martin and all that stuff. And we knew that it had been seized by the attorneys that she never paid with the divorce. Okay, whatever. And then, Sheree made her little jabs to Marlo about some 80-year-old man she supposedly, getting money from. So it was like, okay, like, where are we going with this? Like, okay, is this who can cut the person down the worst? I mean, what? Like, at a certain point, once it got to the, I mean, it shouldn't have even got that far. So I'm like, no, this is too much. And it's been rumored that Keisha Knight Pulliam is going to join the class, and Keisha will always be Rudy to me. I really don't want her to, like, turn into this, like, drama filled person that is the typical, housewife on Real Housewives. I don't want that to happen. So I don't know. But anyway, Love and Hip Hop, that reunion is supposed to be coming up soon, but I heard it's not a real reunion, that because the girls, or I say girls because, I mean, they can't get along well enough to do the traditional reunion show. So supposedly they are being interviewed individually. It's not going to be like the one panel where everybody's sitting and talking and arguing, whatever. They're supposed to be getting interviewed individually. So if that's the case, that'll be kind of, that's different. And, it's sad that they couldn't just swallow their pride and sit for 2 hours and do the reunion show without, getting into a fight or whatever. Okay, then we had Teen Mom and Janelle crying because she can't smoke anymore. We have spoiled Chelsea, then got a new ride. Okay, nothing was wrong with that Beetle convertible. Then Leah, I don't know what's going on with her husband. I really used to love Corey, but this season, I don't know, like, I cannot believe that he was getting an attitude with her about wanting to move, and those kids having to bathe in those horrible conditions. Like, he shouldn't even be worrying about a new truck when it comes, like, the baby should be first. So I don't even see his rationale on that, especially when she was like, there's mildew down there, possibly mold. I mean, that's dangerous. So no. Looks like Kaylin and Joe may be reuniting. I don't know. Joe said it's cheaper to keep her, honey. But, I still think that he definitely needs to fight that child support order, because he basically has 50-50 custody. So, he shouldn't be owing back child support and all that stuff when he has the baby half the time. Really more than half the time, because when she goes to class, she drops the baby off too. So, then, okay, Braxton family values tonight. Chinese marriages. I'm glad that Trina is finally taking a step back from Gabe. I mean, all they've done is move to separate rooms. I mean, that's really, I honestly, I feel that he needed to leave the house. Like, I mean, I feel that that would have been the best way for her to, like, really be able to evaluate the situation, clear her head, see how it is without him in the household. If, you know, she feels that she could handle that, if she misses him, you know, too much and feels that, you know, it's worth trying again. But it just seems like it's just always something. And then, you know, something was released online lately where he was telling all her business and family business to some woman online through, like, Skype or Yahoo Messenger or something. And I don't know how long ago that happened, but I mean, that's definitely not a good look. Like, if you're trying to save your marriage, like, talking bad about your wife and her siblings to a stranger on the internet on a webcam, that's just not a very bright thing to do. So who knows? Tawanda and I have never, this, let me just say this, okay? Now, I think Gabe is doing okay financially, but Tawanda's husband, you know, is not. And so, because I was going to say, you know, I've never seen men, like, get treated like this and still be trying to hang around. Like, well, on TV, like, in real life, you know, yeah, but on TV, like, where people are seeing you being talked to any kind of way or whatever, and, like, just standing for that, like, it is just crazy. Like, Tawanda seems like she is just through, and he just still, you know, you want me to move in? Or I'm like, ah. And then, you know, when Tamar went up in that closet and saw his clothes, Tawanda's excuse was, he's my kid's father. I'm sure there are a lot of people who don't have their children's father's clothing in their closets. Like, if anything, say, he's my husband. That's why his clothes are in the closet. Not, he's my children's father. Like, your children's father doesn't need to have anything over there. If that's basically the title that you're going to have for each other or for him and nothing more, then, you know, he can just come over. You know, when she needs him to watch the kids, he can just come over, and then when she gets home, leave. He doesn't need to keep anything over there for that. So, you know, I think, you know, she still has to have some type of hope for that relationship, because otherwise she could just cut the ties. She didn't, you know, need him at all to get the house. She secured that on her own. So, I mean, to include him in that process or allow him to have clothes over there in her closet, not even a guest room closet, because we know it's a guest room in that house. I mean, it's got a 3-car garage. So, it's probably at least 4 bedrooms. So, child, these folks. Okay, and then, you know, Tamar and her getting mad about the waitress. That was cute. That was cute. The game, I'm about done. Okay, the only thing with the game is the Jason Pitts and Brandy storyline. Like, that's pretty much the only thing that is even keeping me there, because since it's been on BET, I am, like, so disappointed. And when it first was canceled on CW, like I was one of the ones doing the little the my mind drew a blank. Um trying to get it back on the air and all of that, the little petition or whatever. And now that it's back on, but on BT, I'm not feeling it. And what is really annoying is Melanie and Tasha not being friends. Like, that is like bringing a whole nother dynamic to the show, and I don't like it. I don't like that. So yeah. Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, that reunion part 1. I was wondering why they didn't have a week break in between the season finale and the reunion. And then when the beginning of the reunion came on and Andy Cohen was like part 1 of 3, I was like, that's why there was no break. Because they're spreading the reunion out, dragging it out for 3 episodes. I'm wondering if Lisa and Adrian are going to be friends after, because they seemed really PO'd at each other. Like, Adrian seems to still be salty about the whole bachelorette party, Lisa's daughter bachelorette party, not being held at the Palms and held at Planet Hollywood. And I mean, I'm kind of with Lisa on that. Like, she has another friend, who owns hotels too. And, that friend extended her the accommodations. She didn't have to ask, so for Adrian to be like, well, why didn't you ask me? I would have pulled out the red carpet, da 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 da. Well, her other friend offered it to her. She didn't even have to ask. And so, I mean, I don't know. I just feel that Adrian needs to just move on from that. And then her saying that Lisa's selling stories and her source is like someone who works for the magazine or whatever. It's like, those reporters and those gossip columnists and stuff, they'll say anything to try to get a reaction and a story out of somebody. Like, you would think that Adrian would believe her friend for all those years over some gossip columnist. So I was shocked, that Adrian went there. Brandy seemed like she gonna bring some drama on the reunion. She's off the chain. And I think that's about it. Oh, Family Hustle. Absolutely love that show. The little Christmas little thing was adorable. I just want to take Major and just squeeze his little cheeks. He's so cute. But I really like that show. I don't know because, editing. I don't know if T.I. spends a lot of time with his other kids outside of Tiny. It seems like he does on the show, but it could just be that way because of whatever scenes they're showing. But he seems like he's very active in their lives, and that is so admirable, because a lot of men, if they're no longer in the relationship with the woman, the kids kind of get put on the back burner. And, even though T.I. has gotten married and had 2 children with Tiny, he seems to still be very active with his other kids. And I think that is great. And his older kids, they seem very well behaved and respectful kids, which is great. But that's it, y'all. This video has been long enough. So, see you guys. Peace.